Hi, Christian.
Hey,
You joined our organization a few months ago.
1 month ago.
Yes. Could you please introduce yourself and briefly tell us about your professional past before H-Farm Innovation?
Sure. So I really come from design consulting and strategy consulting. I had a few cycles in my career. The first one, I believe, was design consulting at the Studio Di Lucchi and at IDEO. And after that, I started to work also in parallel in academia, the past 10 years working for Parsons in New York. Well, in between, there were other cycles. I worked in Africa, in the startup world, and mentoring executives, but always around how to integrate the design approach and design methodology in a possibly wide array of areas for intervention, unveiling opportunities, bringing them to life. Academia was not like lecturing, and in fact, I'm not good at lecturing, but it was very much guiding students in the last year in a course that worked a bit like an incubator, building either startups or integrating their work in industry. So for me, it's not that big of a difference of academia and consulting as it might appear. So it was always very much project focused, providing leadership to projects and providing guidance to people.
Great, thank you. Actually, that's probably because you are a designer, right?
Yes, I am.
So I was curious to ask, how do you see leadership from a design perspective, both for a consultancy firm and for clients?
Yeah, so we acquired leadership roles pretty early on. So when we were playing around with new technologies in the 90s, we developed projects that had no precedence. So we needed to integrate a variety of disciplines, like even anthropologists, psychologists, and of course engineering, marketing, economists, and all that. So and we are not really thinking deep down into each one of those disciplines, but we get an overall picture of an innovation opportunity. And I think it was really back then when we started to acquire leadership roles. And today that evolved much further because if we look at beyond the products and services or product service systems, if we look into organizational design, helping leadership and but not only leadership, also the various departments to apply innovation strategies, then the leadership role is really more into providing a free space of individual applications than telling people what to do. So I like this comparison to a jazz orchestra. So in a classical music, the conductor provides leadership to people that know exactly what to do because it's written in their partitures. And in jazz, you have a theme. And it's really about how you engage people, how do you understand people, and how you motivate them to do their own interpretation of that theme.
Thank you. And what do you see as the most burning issues our economies and clients are facing, and how can we support and create opportunities for them?
Right, that's a very simple question to answer. I think the time where it was some sort of moral obligation to think about sustainability and diversity and immigration are over. It's more a question of survival than and an obvious need than an opinion or a moral obligation. And I believe that we have, and in particular at H-Farm Innovation, we have such a wide array of competencies, and I believe that it is really in our DNA to address sustainability and diversity, equity, and inclusion, that we also need to communicate that to our clients. We need to tell them what is it exactly that we are doing. It's like in everything we are doing. And I believe that also it's not a specific project that we apply for sustainability or DEI, but it's like really covering basically the entire, range of activities of an industry and how they do that.
Thank you. And what do you see as the hurdles and challenges to address that? Again, both from a consultancy firm perspective and from a client perspective.
Yeah. So I start with us first. And as I said before, we need to individuate what is it exactly that we do. And we need to individuate that and we need to celebrate that. And we need to communicate that to our clients. I believe that we should not do the mistake that maybe, I don't know if I'm qualified to say that, but they sometimes think, some of our competitors, that put something like a new service or a new area that they address, which sounds like the thing. I don't know if that's the right approach. As I said, I think it's much more important that we have tangible activities that we can formulate as an offering and deliver that to our clients. And our clients need to see that they continue to fit into their economic system, adapt, and stand out. And so it's not about making a revolution, but as I said before, we need to see how we tweak all that. With these fast-moving changes that are going on, we cannot see any project or service or our consulting service in isolation. It's always connected to something else. And this something else is part of a bigger system. So I believe that both for us and for our clients, it's very important to understand that. Their organizations very much move from working like machines to living systems. How can we support them in addressing that? The only constant is change today more than ever before. And to tackle that, I believe we have a lot to offer. Us here now, also together with Chakala, considering that we have all this potential of data, and with Chile with AI. So, from a design perspective, I like to say we challenge all this quantitative information with qualitative insight, and we can help clients to anticipate, in a way, what we need to address. So, yeah, you need to interrupt me because it can go on for a long time.
Beside ESG, how will design continue to evolve? And if you can explain in a few words your vision about strategic design, what is about?
Sure. So first of all, I don't see strategic design as a new or another specific design discipline. If you look at the history of design, we all come from product design. We then understood that as soon as the products became alive, that they deliver a service, that we need a design interaction design. People identified more with the way a mobile phone works than its physical appearance. And and that led to the service, product service system. And our clients' industry became interested in understanding more how we lead these design and innovation processes, and we continue to evolve that with business design and finally organizational design. And a very important component is, as I said, we cannot see anything in isolation. Everything is part of a greater system, so we need to also understand those systems. And I don't know if it's too early to talk really about system design and see that as a discipline. But where I want to get is that in all these disciplines, there is the opportunity to infuse a strategic thought, to use simple terms. And with that, we do not only try to conquer the opportunity to then, once we have a concept, so in this first design research phase, ideation phase, we have the concept, to help our clients to provide guidance in the process from a conceptual stage to implementation, which is very important. Because, many of these concepts finish in a drawer. Many of these concepts, once you see them in real life, are different than you expected them to be. So to make sure that we maintain our value system, all the opportunities that we unveiled bottom up, looking at people with our observations, with our stakeholder engagement, everything what we do in design research, that we make sure that this is being considered in implementation processes, together with the leadership approach that design delivers, is always a huge opportunity. So the design of a strategic plan, so really design and strategy in that context, I believe is a very important step for us. And I believe we can contribute to that. And the other part of strategic design is that we see the opportunity that deriving from a specific project, a specific product or service, where we as HFAM definitely have the credibility because we do that. So we're not futurists that come up with abstract concepts, but we can really build up this opportunity. But by working our way into an organization with everything what we do, that we do have, or that we can have impact on the overall strategy of a corporation. So all that plays together, of course, following through to implementation, understanding an organizational setting, its complexity, and understanding the system that they are part of, I believe that there is an enormous potential for the design approach, for strategic design, without being dominating or being a new discipline or replacing any of those disciplines. On the contrary, but making everybody of us become a design strategist in some way, because it's on each one of us when you work on a specific project to make sure that a client understands that potential and also the importance to connect everything what they do to a greater system that is always in evolution and will continue to evolve.
The last question is
Okay.
a more personal one. So, are you happy with your own change processes, moving from academia to consulting and from the USA to Europe and Italy?
Well, there's a German say that says, never call it the good day before the evening. So right now I'm happy, but I will tell you in a few years, because of course there are always lots of challenges. Me personally, I like change. I'm much better in starting something new than continuing something that is successful and continues to exist. I think there's enormous potential in who we are and what we do, in conquering new markets, in addressing those issues, and much more. What I just said, I believe that there's always an enormous potential in the design approach. It's not easy to communicate, but it's always something unexpected. A surprise constitutes an innovation opportunity, and we are good in coming across those surprises. And that, in combination with what Jakarta represents and Chile does, is huge. I'm really happy to contribute and to collaborate with everyone to build this and to make it happen and to conquer these markets. In very exciting times, there are problems, but there are also opportunities. So.
Yeah, happy to hear that. Thank you for sharing your insightful perspective.
Sure, thank you.